I see it
Woohoo!
live. I see it
We
live.
are live.
Button. Yeah.
Amazing.
Uh, Great.
Amazing. Yeah, there we are. All right, great. Woohoo.
Okay, let's see. Okay, great. We started getting some people rolling in
Yep.
here. Welcome.
Thanks,
Happy
y'all.
Monday. We are. Oh, let me get my Replit thing shut down here because my app is going crazy. Okay.
Don't you love that?
Yeah. I saw a post this morning. Oh, Replit just deleted our entire database, even though we explicitly told it not to.
Oh,
and
no.
there's a snapshot of Replit's. It's saying, "Did you just delete the entire database against our explicit directions?" And it says, "Yes, I did do that."
Oh, no. I just realized I didn't have any hydration here, so it's going to be lime seltzer today.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're just joining us now, we are recording a little early this week so we can get some travel done. And I'm closing some browser windows because my browser's going crazy. And
I'm ready to rock when you are.
I'm ready to rock too.
Let's do it. Yeah, yep. We're running. I'm running late. It's 100% on me.
Dave's fault. Yep.
It is Dave's fault.
I want to give you a link to share, just a picture of when I
totally.
talk.
That is, that's on me.
Okay, it happens.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
No big deal. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, but I'm the one that needed to leave by 12:30, and I'm not going to now.
No.
No. So that is on me.
Yeah.
Are you ready to? Oh, okay. You're sharing.
I'm ready.
Link. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to share the link in our chat.
In our private chat. Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah.
You can share when you
when I'm ready.
I'm chatting about this. I'm going to talk.
Oh,
about
I see.
This. I'm going to talk about this image.
Okay. Then let's. Oh, I need to do this in a different way. Okay. Then here goes all of it. I should test the sponsors, shouldn't I? Because you know that novel. Wait. Because lie. Okay. Great. It was gonna say whatever it was gonna say. I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Business Brain, episode 668 for Wednesday, July 23rd, International Yada 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 Day for you Seinfeld fans, 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take an idea or three, we dissect it, we analyze it, we crunch it, we use it to tune our business brains so that each and every one of us can keep on living our charmed lives. Our sponsor for this episode is openphone.com/businessbrain. That's where you can go to get 20% off your first 6 months of the #1 business phone system. We'll talk about why that is and why you want to do that in a little bit. For now, back here for a minute in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And still out in Northern California, I'm Shannon Jean. How you doing? I was up in the mountains from now back, so that's a little closer.
Traveling and all that crazy stuff. Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
So,
good to have everybody back.
It is good to be here. I like podcasting from my normal environment.
Yes.
It's fine when I'm traveling, like totally workable, but preferred here. Yep.
I got it. Me too. Same thing. You bring it. I have my travel kit and gets it done, but I do enjoy having it up here. One of the things I wanted to. Let me back up. So I have this, and I've talked about it before here or not, but I have certainly talked about it. I have this metaphor in my head that I think of success, and what one of the best parts of my life is sitting around a campfire. And so I use this campfire metaphor as something that really draws me forward I'm building, because, we work really hard. You're getting ready to get back on the road. It's like constant. I mean, hard is relative, right? I always say, carrying bags of cement is hard. Digging holes in the earth is very hard.
Yes.
So when I say hard, it's just, it can be a grind getting stuff done, and you're doing things. So that's let's put that in perspective. And
some
realize
perspective, but yes, I mean, we are extremely fortunate.
Yes.
Some of that fortune is opportunities that we take advantage of. And some of it is just opportunities that land in our laps in different ways. Yeah.
Yeah. And so as I've leaned into this idea, I was like, okay, well, what is it about this campfire idea that has drawn me for so many years? And I realized that it's that connection with people and, putting myself in situations that keeps moving me forward. What I really love. And we had family up at our river house this weekend, and I shared a picture with you, Dave. I don't know, for those of you watching the live stream or or looking at it later on YouTube, which you can do, I took a photo. I often find myself getting up from the campfire and walking away so I can observe it.
Ah.
And I thought of it, especially here. I walked down. If you're listening to us, you don't get the visual, but I'll describe it a little bit.
Yeah, please.
The campfire is kind of raised up on a hillside down below where our house is on the river. And I walked down to this meadow lawn area that we have, and I looked back up, and I was like, man, this is it. Here's my nephew, my wife helping my nephew. One of my nephews make a s'more.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law sitting there, having a beer. My other nephew putting wood on the fire with this big thing. And, we had dogs running around all around me and stuff. And I was like, man, this is why I work. This is it. I'm observing all the effort and hard work, because it's no small amount of work to make this happen. This picture looks very...
it's very natural, but that's the thing. It is natural because you've been able to create this opportunity for this natural thing to happen, but none of it happened by accident, right?
None of it.
Working backwards. I'm sure you had to level some ground to put the fire pit in, to put the meadow in where you're standing. Yes. Someone else leveled ground to put the house that you bought, and you were able to buy that house because you had earned the money and lending opportunity. I don't know how you bought it. It doesn't matter, right? But you'd earned the financial ability to buy this house, regardless of how that came together, because of the work that you'd done for, maybe the 10 years prior, and the 10 years prior to that, you did the work that allowed you to then do the following work we can just keep going backwards and backwards.
That's right.
And this is... people say overnight success takes 20 years, and that's what you're describing here.
Yes. And I have the luxury of all of us have. I have the luxury of enjoying it, but you have the luxury as a listener of, take that from me as someone that's maybe older than you, that has worked for this 25 years or whatever to, find the thing that pulls you forward.
Yes.
That's the takeaway here. I've thought about this my whole life. I want to sit around the campfire with the people I love. I want to build this thing. I want to have a place I can invite my friends. I want to have, and these kids, I love seeing it. They're driving dirt bikes around, and we had my Ranger, they're driving the ATVs, and just having a great time, swimming in the river and doing all this crazy stuff, eating ho-hos for breakfast, and this just great, amazing things that I've wanted forever, and I have them. And it made me think, as I was driving home yesterday back to my house, and I was like, man, this is what I work for.
Yes,
and I want that connection with people. I want to watch their experience. I want to observe them enjoying the fruits of my labor. Right. That's rewarding.
It is rewarding. I know that kind of statement can sound egotistical, and in a sense it is, but not in. But the word egotistical is not always a negative.
Right.
Like it doesn't need to have a negative connotation. Yeah.
Correct.
I agree. Yeah. This is so. I'm curious, folks, as you're listening here, Shannon's metaphor, the goal, if you will, and I know we don't like goals, but the thing that drives you, one of the things, certainly the one we're talking about here, is this campfire.
Yep.
What I'm curious about for you listening is, what is your metaphor? What is the thing that matters to you? And metaphor might not even be the right word, because this is a reality.
Yeah.
It was a vision that it's an ideal that you realized, intentionally realized. This was none of this was an accident. And so,
and what is yours, right?
What's yours? Feedback at businessbrain.show. I want to know, what is your ideal, idea, metaphor, reality? What is it? Because it's different for all of us, and that's
but you
wonderful.
should have one. This is the takeaway here. By having something that you're this purposeful, call it your noble cause, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It helps you create beyond just the daily grind of, I got to make money, I got to pay my bills, I got to do my mortgage, I got to do this for my kids, yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
Of course, we all have that.
Yes.
But if they're, having this thing hanging out of how I wanted this ideal setting has helped me tremendously, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, for sure. We have some more to talk about. The next thing that I want to talk about is our sponsor for this episode. Because you know that moment when your phone rings and it's either a new client or your cousin Carl calling to ask if you still have his ladder from 2017? Yeah, that is why I love our sponsor, OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system built for folks like us, the entrepreneurs grinding it out, creating opportunities, and yes, trying to live that charmed life. With OpenPhone, you don't need to carry 2 phones or a dusty old landline. Just fire up the app on your computer or your phone, and you're all set. You and your team can share one number and handle calls and texts like it's a group chat with superpowers. Someone starts a convo, somebody else finishes it, your customers get seamless service, you get more time to build your empire or alphabetize your snack drawer, your call, whatever you like. And after hours, their AI answers calls, fields questions, and even captures leads while you sleep or while you binge reality shows. Again, no judgment. See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. And OpenPhone is offering our listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/businessbrain. That's openphone.com/businessbrain. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers, and our thanks to OpenPhone for sponsoring this episode. So I mentioned last week that I was not feeling well and talked about kind of how I was sort of processing that. I've learned a lot more since then. It's rare to get a positive test for Lyme disease. But that is and therefore it is often diagnosed symptomatically. That is the current diagnosis I'm operating under. They started me on antibiotics, doxycycline, which is sort of the classic one for Lyme disease. And instantly my fevers went away.
Your energy level is back to normal.
So a few things have happened, but my fevers went away. It took a few more days for other things to start kind of coming back. And then in parallel to that, I also figured out how to sleep because I was only getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep because of these. One of the weird symptoms was, and in a sense still is, this migrating muscle pain. It started in one leg, next day it was in the next leg, and it would wake me up at night and not being able to sleep sucks. Right. So I've been on doxycycline for a little while. Hopefully it's not just keeping it at bay. Hopefully it's actually eradicating this thing, but we'll find out. So all is progressing and good.
Yeah.
My energy level is I'm probably to 80% now, but certainly not 100, but way better than where I was. And I've been traveling while I've been recovering from this. And in a sense, that has been good for me. because if I were here in my office, I probably would have spent more time working, or at least trying to work, than I did while I was traveling. Traveling sort of naturally gives me, I'll say excuse, but it's more just the pattern of traveling. I am expecting to not be as proactive with work as I would be if I were here, in my normal environment. And so that it gave me the opportunity / excuse to, I was taking 2 naps a day while I was traveling at this conference because I needed it. Right. I had more downtime, and it afforded me at least the idea of accepting taking more downtime, which I think was extremely helpful for my recovery from whatever this thing is. Obviously, you overdo it, and your body will let you know. But what it did was it forced me to prioritize things and only do the highest of priorities. And the rest of the stuff I just had to kind of let fall by the wayside that I either will never get to, or I did a bunch of work. We're recording this on Monday. I did a bunch of work on Saturday and Sunday mornings after I got up, just to kind of catch up, right? But again, that was like B-level priorities. The A-level priorities I was handling while I was gone, and that was it. And then the B-level priorities I took care of this weekend, and there was like 3 weeks worth of those that had piled up. It was a lot, like
scary,
way more than I ever have let go before. And while the repercussions of this will certainly, they aren't over, right? Like, I will see next quarter what the impact is of me not being quite as proactive in July as I normally would have been, right? But I also have a good team around me with all of my businesses. Everything is being handled. It's all moving forward. Everybody did what they needed to do, and it's kind of all fine. And so learning this, having the opportunity to experience this forced prioritization, I think is going to change things for me.
Well, yeah, sometimes it forces change, and it forces you to drop things that you thought were important.
Exactly.
That are not.
Yes.
And that you're like, wow, I was spending time doing these things. When I stopped, nothing happened.
It didn't, right.
Nothing bad happened.
Exactly. And even, delaying 3 weeks to do kind of the B-level priorities, the things that definitely needed to be done eventually. It's like, okay, well, wait a minute. And then I started thinking, okay, these B-level priorities, if they can wait 3 weeks for me to do it, that 80% rule starts to kick in. And the 80% rule being, if I can hire somebody to do something 80% as well as I believe I do it, right? Like, and most of the time you hire somebody and they do it better than you, but that's the whole other thing. You got to get to that. You got to get over the hump. So to get over the hump, you do this 80% trick in your brain. You say, hey, if I can hire somebody and they do it 80% as well as me, it frees up my time to do other things. And it's like, well, if I could just delegate all of those B-level priorities to somebody who's going to do it 80% as well and faster than me taking 3 weeks to do it, which naturally erodes the effectiveness of it.
And it gives you more time to focus on the A priorities.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. Yeah. So it's been really, it's been informative in what I think is going to be a productive way. Like I said, I'm sure there'll be some fallout from this. Sure. There's already been a little bit, but nothing terrible, because the A-level priorities were still happening. Like, thankfully, I wasn't completely just down for the count and, out of it for 2 weeks. I was still able to, and I'm very thankful to modern medicine and antibiotics and my team of doctors, and I can't sing the praises of living in 2025 enough. Of course. Because if this was 100 years ago, no, I don't want to have that conversation.
It wouldn't be.
No, it'd be very bad.
But the things that when you change up how things work, ideally you don't get sick and have a medical issue. But
sometimes that's what it takes.
Sometimes. Or you go away on vacation or something, you take a trip and disconnect and you come back and you're like, wow, all this thing I thought that was just going to be a nightmare. Or you know what? Everybody did handle everything they were supposed to handle. All these kinds of, things. And they both have one thing in common. You removed yourself from the situation. And we are often the barrier, the logjam to getting things done. It's tough to give up, especially you have this entrepreneurial, I don't think you
the control freakishness
and superhero complex.
It's got to be me.
I can make this work so much better. Yada yada. But most of the time, that's not the case. So
it's a fallacy. The entrepreneurial fallacy.
Yep. But I'm glad you're feeling better, and I'm glad you picked up that, and hopefully you'll be able to offload those things. And I'll bet. And we're going to talk about this more on our Friday I show. I'll bet the new ChatGPT agents can will be able to help you with some of those tasks.
I want to talk about those agents quite a bit. Yep. Well, thank you for listening, folks. I was thinking, Shannon, going back to the, what's your noble cause? What's your campfire metaphor? Mm-hmm. And as I'm sitting here in my studio doing this show, like, this is actually part of really what we're asking people is, how do you define your charmed life? What realities are signs of your charmed life, right? For you, it's the campfire is one of them. And I realized that, being able to sit here in the studio with all kinds of fun gear and be able to do what you and I are doing. And I realized that this is part of what allows me to live the charmed life, but it is also the being able to do this work and have this be the thing that affords me all the other pieces of my charmed life. In and of itself, this is part of my charmed life.
That's great. That's great.
It's amazing.
And I think we should talk about those things more.
I agree
on the show, because I will tell you, just examples of being, talking about the things that we've been able to do, or the things that how we live our lives and do those things. I think it connects with people, and I think it's important to share.
Yeah.
And it, especially if you're just starting out, or you're at whatever part of your journey you're at, it oftentimes can just feel like a slog, and you're just grinding day in and day out.
Most of the time.
Yeah. So I think it's important to hold up examples of, hey, you're going to get there, and these are the opportunities that are in your future, and the things that you can do to create that charmed life. And we'll be pointing that stuff out a little bit more in the
absolutely future. And help us, please. Feedback at businessbrain.show. Tell us what the kind of metrics are for you, the things that exist in how you live your life that are signs to you that you are living that charmed life, because it's different for all of us. And yet there's some things that are going to resonate. So, you hearing about Shannon's campfire, or me in my podcast studio, does that resonate with you and remind you of things in your life? Because if the more we share, the easier it is for us all to do that. So, thanks for hanging out. Like I said, feedback at businessbrain.show. Please visit our sponsor, openphone.com/businessbrain. And also go to businessbrain.show/review and give us a review, would you? We'd love that. Thanks. We'll see you next time. We're out. Good. Well, we're not out. You know it.
Yes. That's it. Good. So if you're on the live stream now, we're in between episodes. My chair just reset, so I got to.
That's all right. Nice that it waited until we were in between episodes.
Yeah. If you're on the live stream, we're going to do a little bit of work in between episodes as we prep that first. And when I say we, I mean Dave, as he preps that first episode, so I can go up and work on it a little bit and get it pushed out and published. It'll come out on Wednesday in every podcast app in case you missed something and you want to do it. You can also watch the live stream on YouTube if you search for Business Brain. Every live stream we've ever done is up there waiting for you. There's a live stream playlist. You can go back. And I don't know if that's searchable or not by topic. That would be really nice.
I think it is. I think it is.
Yeah, probably based on the show notes and stuff.
Yeah. Certainly, you can search in the like
Titles.
at businessbrain.show for the titles of everything. Yeah.
And it'll search the show notes and everything.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. So businessbrain.show, you can go back there and then do it. Sounds good. Sounds great.
There's that. 668.
Excellent. Perfect. And now we're going to record our Friday episode where we're going to talk about we talk about how we are using AI in our businesses and our personal life. We do this every week. It's become a very popular part of the show. Most our reviews mention it over and over again.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's not absolutely not a complaint, terrific. Obviously. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about agents today. The new agent abilities in ChatGPT, and see how that works and how we're going to start using them and what safeguards might need to be in place. It's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting.
Almost there. Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Me too.
And I want to learn more. I had missed that it even happened, which makes it even more fun for me.
Yeah.
Okay. We are there. I am almost there. I'm ready to rock. Okay. Let's do this. And you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Business Brain, episode 669 for Casual Fried AI, July 25th, International Red Shoe Day. Make sure you're wearing your red shoes, 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take a few ideas, we dissect them, we analyze them, we use them to tune our business brains so that we can each keep living our own definitions of what it means to live a charmed life. Speaking of charmed lives, if you go to openphone.com/businessbrain, our sponsor, you get 20% off your first 6 months of the #1 business phone system and service. We will talk more about how and why that works in a few minutes. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And in Lafayette, California, I'm Shannon Jean. Glad to be here.
Hey, man. Yeah.
Yep.
It's Friday AI.
It's Friday AI.
Yeah.
And we had a lot went on over, I guess it was maybe, I don't know if it was Friday that ChatGPT announced their new agent abilities, and I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing. I completely missed it until you had it obviously in the list of topics for today. This seems pretty fascinating.
It's a big deal, and it's.
You want to explain what it is? You want me to explain? Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So it's. I just asked ChatGPT, tell us about your new agent abilities. And it says, great. Yeah. They go beyond just chatting. I can now take actions on behalf inside supported apps or tools, much like a virtual assistant. While some of these features are still rolling out or in limited preview, here's what this means in practical terms. What agent abilities can do, and then it puts in parentheses, or soon will be able to do. So they're bringing out a lot of time.
Yep.
Act on emails and messages, read and summarize emails, draft and send replies, sort or label emails by topic or urgency. Sounds great. Manage calendars, schedule, reschedule, or cancel meetings. Coordinate times with multiple people, add reminders or recurring tasks. I like it. Taking action online, make restaurant or travel reservations, order products or refill subscriptions, cancel unwanted subscriptions. Pretty interesting. Pulling data from different tools like Google Sheets, Notion, Slack. I love that.
Wow.
Fill out forms or applications, prepare reports or documents. It can also work in messaging apps, answer DMs or customer service questions in Slack and Discord. This is going to be a big deal right here for me. Help moderate communities, another huge deal for me if that works with my community. Or flag important messages. You decide when I act as an agent, you'll get a confirmation prompt for anything sensitive which tools, apps I can access, and what data I can see. So it says here, before I could only suggest what to do. Now with agent abilities, I can actually do it for you.
Right.
No switching tabs, no copying, pasting. It's pretty wild. So you can, and then it just, of course, asked me, would you like me to do something for you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yes.
I asked the same thing, and
wild.
it came up with a couple of examples, but and then it was like, want to try it out with a task now? So
Yeah.
they say that this is coming to what appears to be all of the paid plans for ChatGPT. So Pro, Plus, and Team users. The Pro is the $200 a month, Plus is the $20 a month, and Team, I think, is $25 a month. It's basically Plus with some Team features. And they say that Plus and Team, so the lower priced of the three, will not see this feature for a few days. But probably by the time this episode comes out, we should all have it. This is really interesting. You can ask it. I'm looking at their page on it, and it says to use the ChatGPT agent, just select the agent mode from the tools menu or type /agent in the composer. And once enabled, just describe the task you'd like completed, and the agent will begin executing it. It will pause to request clarification or confirmation whenever needed. You can also interrupt the model at any time to provide additional instructions. Most tasks will take between 5 and 30 minutes, depending on their complexity. And after a task completes, there will be a little clock icon at the bottom of the conversation to set a recurring schedule, daily, weekly, or monthly.
That's gonna be huge.
And you can manage your schedules at chatgpt.com/schedules. It is not available on the free plan. And I think this will probably be one of those things where using the desktop app for ChatGPT on your Mac or your Windows machine will be helpful, because otherwise the web interface can't interact with other apps on your computer. But the Mac app, certainly on the Mac, can interact with other apps. So I think that's probably going to be part of this. It's very interesting. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't think I see it in mine yet, but we're recording this on Monday the 21st, so I'm hopeful. Well, I mean, I'm not hopeful. I know it's coming because they say it's coming. I will believe it.
Yeah, it says, can I activate agents now? It says most agent actions, like managing your email and calendar, are still in testing with trusted users. You can't manually turn them on just yet unless OpenAI has granted early access. However, I can simulate the steps, help you set up integrations when they go live, help you build workflows and tools like Zapier, Make, Notion, Slack to mimic agent-like automation. So, I'd love to talk a little bit more about examples of how we might use this in our business.
I need to.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I don't have any ideas right now. Do you?
I might.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. I think we could bounce around a few different things and see how it might help us.
All right. Yeah. Well, then we will do that. The next thing that I want to do is talk about our sponsor for this episode. Because you know that moment when your phone rings and it's either a new client or your cousin Carl calling to ask if you still have his ladder from 2017? Yeah, that is why I love our sponsor, OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system built for folks like us, the entrepreneurs grinding it out, creating opportunities, and yes, trying to live that charmed life. With OpenPhone, you don't need to carry 2 phones or a dusty old landline. Just fire up the app on your computer or your phone, and you're all set. You and your team can share one number and handle calls and texts like it's a group chat with superpowers. Someone starts a convo, somebody else finishes it, your customers get seamless service, you get more time to build your empire or alphabetize your snack drawer, your call, whatever you like. And after hours, their AI answers calls, fields questions, and even captures leads while you sleep or while you binge reality shows. Again, no judgment. See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. And OpenPhone is offering our listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/businessbrain. That's openphone.com/businessbrain. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers, and our thanks to OpenPhone for sponsoring this episode. Shannon, before we start talking about examples of how we're going to use agents, there was one thing I wanted to share, and it's related to the recent medical things I've had, but it really is zoomed out one layer from that. I've been using ChatGPT as a consultant. I know it's not always accurate. That's important. But just bouncing ideas off of as I've been having weird symptoms and we've been trying to figure out what this thing is. Yeah. And there's been some other like interesting factors. Like one of my bandmates has exactly the same symptoms starting on the same day.
That's weird.
And that's Lyme disease is not something like that you transmit from human to human. And so like it's been really interesting. And I've been using ChatGPT, just kind of feeding it all the data and letting it be my consultant. And whether you're doing this for a medical reason, for something personal, for your business, what I've found to be really interesting, and I have used it as a consultant for various other things, I think we kind of all do, is that it is not influenced by its biases because of training or experience. You know, my doctor sees certain things in their practice and therefore, like we all do, they have to, like that's literally what we pay them for is their expertise based on, of course, their experience. But that also leads them, like if they say, well, 8 times out of 10 that I've seen these symptoms, it's X. Doesn't mean that it's X this time, but we're going to lean that way because that's what my experience says it could be. But, one outlying symptom might say, no, maybe it's this other thing, but they don't see that. And that's just because of how we humans are, that's how our brains work. So it's really interesting using ChatGPT as a consultant.
Yep.
Because it might not be accurate, but it's also not biased, right? So you have to filter whatever it's telling you and not follow it blindly. But it's like the data that's coming in is, like I said, it's completely objective in that sense, near as I can tell.
Yes. So, and I would say, I was going to mention too, is there is a, if you want to talk about health with ChatGPT, which I do the same thing. It's super great. I have a project underneath that says health that I do all, questions about stuff to keep track of it.
Yeah.
But there also is a way to turn off that memory feature.
Yes.
If you don't want it to remember stuff and you just sort of ask a question, because I use it. I mean, it's just so much more effective than a search engine. And the two things that you turn off, you could just click the temporary chat button, which is up if you're using the desktop app. Yeah, it's just up under the ChatGPT menu at the top.
And you can do that you can do a temporary chat up at the top. Same kind of thing for on the web model.
On the web,
too.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the other thing I always ask it to do is cite resources. Where are you finding this information? And so that if I want to dig deeper, it'll make sure to put a link there so I can go and say, oh, okay, that's interesting. And is this relevant to what I'm talking about? And I find it very effective, and I find it sometimes you use it like a search engine, but there's so much more depth to it. And the more you use it, the more you'll find that, it's not, I shouldn't ask questions like I do on Google. It's the way you phrase these things and the information you share with it.
And you get to follow up, even in a temporary chat, right? The chat itself knows what it is. It's just not saving that in your profile. So, you search Google for something and you get a list of links and it's over. You can search, you can choose to refine your search and do it again. But I mean, I know Google remembers what we do from thing to thing, but it's very different than asking the AI. What you're talking about here is the T in Chat GPT. That's the transformative part. You get to transform its answers by iterating with it, and it remembers what you've done, at least in that session. Again, depending on whether you're doing temporary or not. But yeah, it's really, I know.
It's
crazy, man.
It's a game changer. So yeah, and what we'll do is I'll work on some agent examples, because I have some things that I want to see if I can implement, and I think it could be a game changer. And much of it is like I'll just tease this as we wrap up here. We have roughly 600 hours of discussions about our business. Maybe not 600. Let's say 500 hours.
Yeah, sure. 400 or 500 hours. It's a lot.
500 hours.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. 11 years of discussions about our businesses, our lives, the charmed life concept. I mean, all these things that we've done. And up until now, I have not had a way to mine that data and keep it. And one of the things that draws me forward towards the future is I want my future generations of genes to be able to talk to me when I'm gone.
Sure.
And I want all the stuff we've talked about and the things that I've written about, and
all the content you've created. Yes,
essentially digitizing your brain, your ideas, your thoughts.
I mean, I think Apple is like working on that with Vision Pro too, right?
Yeah.
That's part. It's a weird thing, but that that avatar that you can have a conversation with. Yeah.
I think future generations, I want them to, and I know that's, we talk about ego a lot, but it's another positive thing. It's not like everything you say is so important and the right thing.
No,
but I would like to have had it for my, previous generations, my great grandparents or whoever.
Yeah,
it would, to be able to talk to them about their experiences.
So I'm with you. However, I also, this is going to get I'm going to apologize because this is going to get super weird, but I'm here. I've tugged on the thread. I'm not going to just drop it. I love this idea from my perspective, just like from your perspective. I want to leave a legacy that other people can learn from, can mine, whatever,
sure.
Right? Whatever. And that's all great. However, I don't know. I think there is a negative to someone who has passed being overly influential in the lives of people living in the then present. And I've always thought, one of the best parts about humanity, it's going to sound really weird. One of the best features of humanity is that we don't live forever.
The reset.
We get a reset.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree
if somebody's got, bias, talking about biases, we all, and throughout our lives, develop more and more biases, and they're not all great. Right. History is full of a lot of really bad biases. Yeah. And it's like the fact that we die means that our biases,
the system works.
The system, it's sad when
every
people
100
pass.
years, basically every 100 years, you've got a whole
just
new
flush the
I
system.
agree.
Yes. Well, it's not flush the system because it's constantly, it's not like it's not like a hard reset, but it is a gradual reset. And the things that the ideas, I mean, we humans, this idea of creating, a lasting legacy of your information is something that you and I aren't the first ones to talk about this.
Of course not.
It's why we started writing things down on cave walls, right?
Yeah.
It was like, this needs to outlive me. This is important information. And always it should be followed by to me. I think this is important for future people to know.
Yes.
But it's up to future people to decide how important our important lessons are for them, how relevant they are.
You pick and choose, because I would say in my life, biographies of great business success people have impacted me more than business books about business and how you should run your business and what you should do. But when I read a biography of somebody like Steve Jobs or Rockefeller. Well, those are very flawed human beings with massive biases. Yes. But you can pick. I would, pick and choose of the. That's very effective. Or
or even seeing someone's bias and saying, I'm not going to do that. Right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I think in that continuity, because when you have future generations and you have grandkids or great grandkids, they only know you as an old person.
Right. That's true.
And that's different. And it would be interesting to see, I think there's a huge positive impact on being able to see how people lived and learning both ways from their mistakes and from the things that they know. So we'll chat more about agents and how
agents and your legacy.
Yes, and your legacy, and how to use them in your business to
for
maybe
sure.
take those B level priorities off. But if you're using this, we would love to hear from you as well. Feedback at businessbrain.show. And also, if you want a MacBook for your business, businessbrain.show/reviews. Leave us a review. Tell us what you like about the show, what we can do better, and we'll get you entered to win.
Amazing. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you next time. Have a great weekend. And we're out.
Awesome. If you're on live stream, thank you for hanging out with us for an hour or so. And these episodes will come out on Wednesday and Friday, and basically every podcast app that's on the planet.
Yeah, so wherever you get your podcasts is where we usually where we are.
Awesome. And if you like the show, there's 280 people on the 281 on the live stream right now. And if you want to win a MacBook, businessbrain.show/reviews, go leave us a review and you can be entered to win. And the odds are very good. So it's great.
Odds are in your favor.
Yeah, small number of people that leave reviews. So when we give away that MacBook, you stand a great chance. So I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Have a great day.
Thanks, folks. Later.
See ya.